So I have this SVG file here that I have created previously, and I see now there are some issues with it. It's a little bit hard to tell from the thumbnail, but that house should not be green, and it looks like the chimney is maybe in front of the roof. Now, a lot of times with vector type graphics, you can edit them in applications. One of them included is Adobe Illustrator, which is not popping up on my screen for whatever reason. But what if you don't have access to Adobe Illustrator, or what if for some reason yours won't load? Like mine right now is having a hard time connecting with the login servers for Adobe, and so I can't actually edit things with it or open anything with it. So this will close itself out in just a second. There you go. So what do I do? Well, SVG files, depending on how they are set up, aren't necessarily too difficult to edit. SVG is code, and so if I open this with text edit, I can actually see the code and modify it as long as I know what I'm doing. Make this a little bit larger so you can see it. So I can change the color of that house and change where that chimney is without actually having to open Illustrator. I just have to know how to work with the code. So I have already have it in an online code editor. I'm using Replit because it's free, it's easy to use. We've played with it a little bit already. If I tell it to run, we can see what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to resize this a little bit so it's a little bit easier for me to work with. So I want to be able to see the whole house and see my code. There we go. So I have my whole picture, and now I can go through here and I can try to figure out what I need to change to fix that. So I think the first thing to do is to add a little bit of space to some of these so I can try to figure out what is what, and it's a little bit less confusing. There we go. Now I've got some spacing. Now I can start to look at the code and figure out what's what. So I've got this first element here, the rectangle element, right? And it says it's light blue. So the only thing that I see that's light blue is the background. So this is probably the sky. Then I see this circle, right, with a yellow fill and an orange stroke. That's probably the sun. So I can go through and try to figure out what is what. Now I see quite a few objects with green. So I know that some of them have to be the house, the roof, and the land here. I also see quite a few objects that are gray, right? So I know one of them is probably the chimney. So I want to figure out which one is the house, which one is the chimney, and fix the colors on those. And then I want to figure out where this chimney is and move it behind the top of the house. I might want to change that window too, because I don't know about a gray window. Maybe the sky color would be better. So I want to go through here and I want to figure these out. Now what I can also do is, if I'm not sure which one is which, I could just temporarily change a color. Like I could change this green to red and run it, and now I know for sure that this one, where'd it go? This one right here, the one that I just changed to red, is clearly the ground, right? Because that's the thing that became red. So I can fix that to go back to green. And modifying those is a quick and easy way to see what they are. If you have trouble with it loading, just try refreshing the whole browser. As we can see, mine is misbehaving all of a sudden. So I'm going to refresh. And I'll run it again. Okay. So changing the red back to green, it didn't save that because I had that disconnection issue. So I'll redo that. There we go. Now I've got the ground being green again, and I can go through and try to figure out which things are the house and the roof, fix those colors, find the chimney, move it where it needs to go, and maybe change the color of the window. And if I want, I could try to do other things too. I could try to maybe add some little bushes or maybe some stuff in the background, but the first thing, the most important thing, is to fix those issues. Now the chimney is a little bit more complex because it's not just changing the color, but I have to change where it's loading. So when you are working with an SVG file, keep in mind that the things that are on top load first and the things that are further down load later. So like for example, if I move this above here and I run it, now the sun is gone. It's not actually gone, it's just behind the the sky. So if I run it again, you can see, right? So you're gonna have to figure out where that chimney is and move it where it needs to be loaded before the roof is loaded.